doing a lot of undercover investigations of illegal logging in Indonesia, and it was through that work that we recognized that there was a need to really address illegal logging and all of its complex issues, rather than just looking at the cutting of trees. So we've been engaged for around 12 years now on the issue. Well, we've enjoyed a really good relationship with the EU in terms of our work. We've had a number of projects, and they've all been, the centre of it has been civil society. And it's not just been about capacity building, it's also been about using the skills that we've also learnt by doing our trainings with them, in terms of advocacy and also investigations and exposing the truth behind the whole illegal logging issue in a particular country. I think making sure that one of the core principles that underpins the VPA is the issue of transparency. And through our work of investigations and working with our partners in Indonesia in particular, we've been able to actually have those issues out there on the table when negotiations are being taken place. Very difficult issues that are very hard for governments to be able to discuss openly, particularly in a formal setting. And through the work that civil society has done in Indonesia, not only were they able to expose the issues so that they could be talked about, but they were also driving the agenda, and they were giving the energy to the process, if you like, to keep it alive and going, because it did take a very long time in Indonesia to do. One of the greatest, if you like, one of the successes of it was the formal role that civil society now has in the monitoring of Indonesia's forests, with or without a VPA, because underpinning everything in Indonesia is the reform of the laws under the TILAS, under the Timber Legality Assurance System. And second to that, it's also ensuring the process that was used in Indonesia was one that we're trying for other initiatives to also use. That full participatory stakeholder participation is absolutely key to any success. First of all, civil society, they know their forest better than anybody sitting in a forest, sitting in an office in Jakarta. Secondly, they have attachments to it because it's their livelihoods, and without those forests, they would end up begging on the streets or they end up being poor. So in a lot of ways, the VPA and the process to achieving a VPA in Indonesia really educated a lot of people about the links between forests and poverty. And that has been a really great thing that the VPA has done in Indonesia. We've got huge challenges. Indonesia is enormous, and it's the implementation phase now, and civil society has been doing really well. They're still focused and keeping the energy going. What's happening now, I think, is trying to keep the focus there and trying to keep the government committed still. Because the issues have also expanded, if you like. Indonesia's illegal logging crisis, if you like, has been addressed. There is still illegal logging going on, but in different forms. So, for example, conversion timber is now a very big issue. And that is timber that is taken when someone is converting a forest into a plantation, for example. And there's a lot of illegality in terms of permits and access to land. So the challenges aren't so much about illegal logging as it was. The challenge is about keeping up with how this issue has expanded to include other challenges that civil society have to face.